Assalamu alaikum. This is Shahrukh Mujumdar welcoming you all to the English news from BTV Chattogram. Let's begin with the headlines. Social business could change not only Bangladesh but also the whole world, says Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus. Industries Advisor Adilur Rahman emphasizes increasing paper production instead of import. Around 1,600 patients hospitalized with dengue as infection surges. Elections to be held at logical time after necessary reforms by interim government, hopes Rahul Khobor Rijvi. Iran's Supreme Leader Khamenei insists US gains no achievement in his first public address since ceasefire with Israel. And Bangladesh trailed by 96 runs against Sri Lanka on day 3 of second test in Colombo. Those were the headlines. Now moving on to the details. Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus said social business can change not only Bangladesh but also the whole world. The Chief Advisor made the remarks today while addressing the inauguration session of the Social Business Day at the Shamajik Convention Center in Jirabo, Savar on the outskirts of the capital. More than 1,400 participants from 38 countries are taking part in the two-day event. Pioneer of social business concept and Nobel Peace Laureate Professor Yunus said, Bangladesh wants to play a role in building a beautiful world. He said that all nations must come forward in this effort to change the world, stressing that doing job is a wrong idea and a continuation of the tradition of slavery. He said, human beings are not born to be job seekers, as they are creators. The theme for this year is social business is the most effective way to ensure healthcare for all. In this regard, the Chief Advisor said, social business is the only right way to ensure healthcare for everyone in the world, and through this, it is quite possible to address the challenges of healthcare sector.
And healthcare has to come from that angle. That's the only solution healthcare has, social business angle. You cannot leave it to business to make money. Then healthcare stays out. People are left out. Nobody can solve that problem. If you leave it to charity, you cannot solve it. Only solution is social business solution. Yes, there will be business solutions. Yes, there will be donation solutions. But the robust part is the social business solution. That's where the whole fundamental issue there. No country successfully has resolved that issue, healthcare for everybody. So that's a challenging area that we have to tackle. And we can tackle. From day one, you know you are not a job seeker. We'll tell them that if you're a job seeker, that will bring shame to us because we could not help you to discover yourself. If you discover yourself, you'll not be a job seeker. You'll be creator. Human beings are creators. Human beings are for changing things in their own fashion. And that's what the universities, education institutions are all about, preparing for that. Not preparing for getting a job, get a salary, end of the life. Job is the end of life. Finish. You're done. So those are the challenging issues that we want to raise, discuss, and see what it leads to. Imagination is something limitless. You can do any way you want. It doesn't cost you anything. So here we imagine and go back to start the smallest way we can.
Among others, the program was also addressed by UNIS Center Relations Manager Jinaat Islam, Grameen Group Chairman Ashraful Hassan, former World Bank Vice President Ismail Sarageldin, UN Resident Coordinator in Dhaka Gwen Lewis, Japan's Grameen Eglina Chairman Mitsuru Ijumo, International Olympic Committee Honorary President Thomas Bass, and Malian entrepreneur and a former African Olympic basketball champion Kedi Kanoti Tunkara. Later, Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus visited various stalls set up by entrepreneurs on the occasion of the Social Business Day. The 15th edition of Social Business Day is being hosted jointly by the UNIS Center and Grameen Group. The event aims to be a global convergence of knowledge, experience and innovation and find ways to address the inequalities and limitations across healthcare and other sectors to build a sustainable world. The two-day program will feature 5 plenary sessions and 8 breakout sessions focused on diverse perspectives and ideas. Industry advisor Adilur Rahman Khan has called for increasing paper production in the country instead of importing paper from abroad. He made this call while visiting the state-owned paper manufacturing company Konofuli Paper Mill in Kapta Upojila of Rangamati today. The industry advisor said KPM's production capacity should be increased by increasing the production of domestic raw materials instead of depending on foreign chemicals. He said the main objective of the interim government is to increase the economic capacity of the government in a short time by utilizing the country's industries. Earlier, the advisor exchanged views with the departmental officials of the mill at the KPM guest house. Industry Secretary Ubaidur Rahman, BCIC Chairman Muhammad Fazlur Rahman, KPM Managing Director Shahidullah, Rangamati Deputy Commissioner Muhammad Habibullah and other concerned persons were present on the occasion. A total of 1,636 people have been hospitalized with dengue fever in the past week, including 195 in the last 24 hours. Alongside dengue, cases of chikungunya are also on the rise. Frequent intermittent rainfall is creating stagnant water, which provides an ideal breeding ground for Aedes mosquitoes. Scattered garbage and public unawareness may further worsen the dengue situation during the monsoon season. Doctors advise taking necessary medical precautions in case of fever. The Directorate General of Health Services sources said a total of 9,065 people have been infected with dengue so far this year. In this current month alone, 4,720 patients have been admitted to hospitals with dengue and 1,032 patients are currently receiving treatment at various government and private hospitals across the country. Of these, 298 patients are in Dhaka, while 734 are in other divisions. So far this year, 38 people have died from dengue, 20 of them male and 18 female. BNP Senior Joint Secretary General Ruhul Kabir Rizvi urged people to remain alert about the groups that are using BNP's name for conspiracies and personal benefit. He made the remarks today at a discussion organized on the occasion of Raater Jatra by the Bangladesh Puja Ujapon Front Dhaka Metropolitan Unit in the capital's Noya Polton area. Dhaka Metropolitan Unit Puja Ujapon Front President Gautam Mitra presided over the discussion, while its General Secretary Bishwajit Bhadro, Central Committee President of the Bangladesh Puja Ujapon Front Apona Roy Dash and Dhaka South City BNP Member Secretary Tanvir Ahmed Robin were also present. Ruhul Kabir Rizvi hoped that after the reform of the interim government, elections will be held at a logical time. Following the meeting, a rally marking the Raater Jatra paraded through several city streets. Now, international news. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei insisted the U.S. gained no achievements from strikes on its nuclear facilities in his first public address since a ceasefire with Israel was agreed on Tuesday. He said the strikes did not accomplish anything significant to disrupt Iran's nuclear program and described the retaliation against an American airbase in Qatar as dealing a heavy blow. It came as Washington doubled down on its assessment that the strikes had severely undermined Iran's nuclear ambitions. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said intelligence gathered by the U.S. and Israel indicated the operation significantly damaged the nuclear program, setting it back by years. Previously, U.S. President Donald Trump said the strikes against 3 key nuclear sites inside Iran totally obliterated them and responded furiously to reports citing unnamed American officials suggesting the damage may have been less extensive than anticipated. At least 72 people have been killed in Israeli attacks across Gaza over the past 24 hours. Gaza's government media office said at least 549 Palestinians were killed by Israeli forces while trying to access humanitarian supplies in the past 4 weeks, and a further 4,066 were injured at or near U.S. and Israeli-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation GHF aid distribution sites. In the 7-day period between June 17th and 23rd, the UN's Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs said it documented at least 23 attacks by Israeli settlers on Palestinians that resulted in casualties, property damage, or both. It said the attacks left 1 Palestinian man dead and 14 injured. Gaza's health ministry sources said Israel's war on Gaza has killed at least 56,259 people and wounded 132,458. Iranian authorities carried out a wave of arrests and multiple executions of people suspected of links to Israeli intelligence agencies in the wake of the recent war between the 2 countries. It came after what officials described as an unprecedented infiltration of Iranian security services by Israeli agents. Authorities suspected information fed to Israel played a part in a series of high-profile assassinations during the conflict. This included the targeted killings of senior commanders from the elite Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, and nuclear scientists, which Iran attributes to operatives of Israel's Mossad intelligence agency working inside the country. Shaken by the scale and precision of these killings, authorities have been targeting anyone suspected of working with foreign intelligence, saying it is for the sake of national security. But many fear this is also a way to silence dissent and tighten control over the population. Back to national news. Chattogram City Mayor Dr. Shahdat Hussain laid the foundation stone of the Dostogir Chaudhuri Chottor at Kadamtoli intersection in the afternoon today. Speaking as a chief guest at the event, the mayor said the freedom fighter Dostogir had responded to the call of martyred President Ziaur Rahman and jumped into the liberation war. Emphasizing on the cleanliness of the city, the mayor said it is the responsibility of all to keep the city clean. Dr. Shahdat also said Chattogram City will be a city of change, and the change is not only for the people of Chattogram, but also for the people of the entire nation. Member of Chattogram Metropolitan BNP, Haji Mohammed Salauddin moderated the program. Among others, former General Secretary of Chattogram Metropolitan BNP, Abul Hashem Bakkar, joint conveners SM Saiful Alam and Niaz Muhammad Khan, Vice Chairman of Chattogram District Red Crescent, Monirul Islam Yusuf, Member Secretary of Chattogram Press Club, journalist Jahidul Karim Kochi, Metropolitan BNP members Jainal Abidin Jiam were present. The mega reunion of the University of Chittagong Alumni Association will be held on 22nd of November this year. The decision has been taken at the extended meeting of the association's executive committee held at the Jilla Parishad Auditorium in Chattogram City this evening. The president of the executive committee, SM Fazlul Haq, presided over, and General Secretary Barrister Mutasim Billah Faruqi moderated, while Principal Secretary of the Office of the Chief Advisor, Siraj Uddin Shathi, Senior Secretary of the Ministry of Shipping, Muhammad Yusuf, President of Nagorik Oiko, also former GS of Chittagong University Central Students Union CUCSU, and former VP of Dhaka University, Mahmudur Rahman Manna, former CUCSU VPs Samsujjaman Hera and Mazharul Haq Shah Chaudhary, former CUCSU GS Ajim Uddin, and representatives of various batches of the university attended the event.